Hare Krishna, dear devotees, here I am. Can't miss me. And, Shambi, Hare, can you turn off the AC? Because I'm just, believe it or not, I got AC going in this room right now because it happens to be 28 degrees with the AC on. And this is morning time. So later on in the afternoon, it's going to be a lot warmer. And I'm going to be looking at a list here while I'm talking. I just finished puja, so bear with me. The other day I was talking to, we had this brahmachari retreat for the last 3 days, and I was spending some time with the brahmacharis. And I was asking them, most of them are book distributors, so I was asking them, please take responsibility for distributing books. You don't need to hear it from me, that we should increase book distribution by 20%. Prabhupada would be asking us to distribute it for 100%. This is your only service. You don't do anything else. You do sadhana and you sell books. And I said, so why is it my responsibility to be, as Prabhupada would say, whipping you? Whip yourself. He says, do you know what I do? And then I started to think, well, what do I do? And I rattled off a few things, but then later on I started to think, well, it would be nice to see what I do. So this morning I wrote down a list of some things, and as I'm talking, I do more things because I actually hold these seminars. For instance, I didn't include seminars like my Varnashram seminar and others, but so I thought I would just let devotees know what I do, or at least some of the things that I can remember in 15 minutes preceding this podcast. And I could be doing more. Many devotees that I know do as much or more. Some of my GBC God Brothers, God Sisters, other devotees, leaders in this yatra, in other yatras are chock-a-block, as they say in the UK, with different types of services. And but I know a lot of devotees who could be doing more, and who could start by taking responsibility for doing more, and taking responsibility for Prabhupada's mission. Because as I finished the Hungarian podcast here in Hungary, this is not my mission. This is Prabhupada's mission, which means it's the mission of everyone who follows Srila Prabhupada. Okay, enough of the intro. Let me get down now that I can see myself, and let me get to this list. And I'm just going to go through this list quite quickly. These are just a few things. One is that I'm a GBC, at least for the time being, and international GBC. I'm involved in a variety of things. We have a parallel lines of authority, a subcommittee. I'm involved in Varnashram and trying to inspire the GBC, trying to inspire Hungary to take up Varnashram and take it more seriously. To that end, I'm also involved in a subcommittee where we're trying to encourage ahimsa milk consumption in our society. I'm one of the unpopular devotees on the issue of women's Diksha Guru and making those presentations. I've just been asked to do that at our upcoming European leadership meeting, but I may not be there for that. Anyway, sometimes on issues I have to get involved in with the EC, with the GBC executive, and that takes time, sometimes some writing. I'm involved in the organizational development subcommittee, which is an additional 6 days a year. I'm GBC for Hungary, Romania, and Turkey. Along with that comes responsibility. Maybe it's my conditioning, something that, my mother trained me, but I take responsibility quite seriously. In fact, I think too seriously for my own good. So in these countries, I have to oversee the vision, their implementation, taking care of devotees, deity worship, book distribution, festivals, and the other things. I won't make the list of all the things that happen in a yatra. I'm a Euro GBC, obviously, and I have to travel. So I travel in Hungary. I'm generally not more than 1 week in any given place. That also means packing and unpacking, and good thing I don't have to do it. Shambhi Hari does it for me, otherwise I'd really go bonkers. Packing I really don't like to do. I travel to the UK yearly for about 3 weeks, and then I travel from Wales to Scotland and England. I'll be doing it more once I'm no longer a GBC. I travel through Romania and Turkey. Turkey I go about 3 times, Romania I go once. We're going to have a festival in Turkey. I'm helping to deal with the organization of that, bringing devotees from Hungary for that. I have about 600 or more disciples. So that means letters. I'm just working on letters right now, answering emails for emergency issues, meetings with them, problems and problems and problems and problems and more problems and more problems. But anyway, that's just more problems. And then I'm writing books right now. I'm writing Damodar Leela book. I'm writing this codex or guidelines for Varnashram, which is another book. Just this morning I was requested by the GBC to write up a proposal. I'm involved in fundraising for smaller things. I have my larger Nitya Seva project, which I'll come to. I have to continue fundraising to complete the renovation, which we don't exactly have money for the renovation of Radhe Shyam's altar and everything that came along with that. As you're probably aware of, I came up with this bright idea of selling the drawings for Navavrata Mahima, because it was the only way that we can really finance the Hungarian translation. English was very easy. You didn't have to translate it, just had to edit it and print it. But doing the Hungarian is taking a long time. And then, of course, fundraising is, I'm also involved in our annual 1%, which means communicating with the taxpayers, working on a program that inspires them to give their tax-deductible 1% income to us. I have my sadhana. I chant a minimum of 16 rounds. I try to do more. I attend a morning program, evening program, except for the times when I'm really bogged down with writing, which I am right now because I have this deadline with this guidebook at the end of this month. Of course, I have friends. I'm very fortunate. I have wonderful friends that I have to interact with. And we have guests here in Hungary. We're really blessed with a lot of guests, and especially the main times that they come, which I have to host them, are Nishinga Chaturdasi, when we do Parikrama, Janmastami, Radhastami, Govardhan Puja, when I'm here. And of course, these are God brothers, God sisters, sannyasis, guests in general, disciples, who, when they come during these festivals, although I tell them I'm really too busy during festivals to be speaking, but still some want to meet, if nothing else, to say hello and say goodbye. And of course, all of that is part of being a host. And then we do have festivals, different festivals during different times of the year. And in that, I have to participate. Devotees expect me to chant Hare Krishna, to give lectures. In New Rajadam, I take devotees on parikrama. I'm worshipping Radha Damodar. That's one of the things that really gives me life. Radhe Shyam, when I'm in New Rajadam, Radha Damodar takes about, well, depends if Shambhi Hari does the Shilas. If he does, it takes me half an hour. If not, it takes 45 minutes. Radhe Shyam, that's 2 hours a day. And I oversee the deity worship, especially in New Rajadam, because aside from the head pujari, the leaders aren't that tuned in to at least what I would want to ensure is going on. So I'm training them, and that means I have to be involved. I'm the one who purchases often the jewelry for the deities. Then I work on design projects. Right now we're redesigning Radha Damodar's box. They're going to be painting it. Srila Prabhupada's Vyasasan, we're working on that on the farm. Just yesterday I received some signs for the deities that go on the altar. There are building projects that are going on. We're installing samadhis, going to be installing 6 of them again at our Namhara camp. And then the rebuilding, and this is going to be really beautiful, out of solid stone and marble, granite, rebuilding Gopeshwar Mahadev and Yogeshwar and Yogamaya's temples, the construction, carving of Prabhupada's Sringasan, the furnaces that we're replacing, and they're coming now. and I'm always planning for a new temple in the future. My newest project, or it was a 5-year project for Nitya Seva, which is to raise 1.6 million, which is to raise about $8 to $10 million to invest and to maintain the deity worship of Radhesham and Radha Damodar, not Radha Damodar, Gaur Nitai here in Budapest, along with their pujaris and everything. And the dividends, or the money that that investment earns in real estate, mostly, that's our plan, that's what Nitya Seva has been invested in over the last 10 years, helps towards, goes to maintain the deities. And then I have GBC meetings, 6 weeks of GBC meetings a year, and they take place half in the spring, half in the fall. That's anywhere from 6 to 10, sometimes 14 hours of meetings with subcommittees, and sometimes you have to survive that in air conditioning. I have national council meetings 3 or 4 times a year here in Hungary. Then we have a Bhakta Sangha, annual Bhakta Sangha, which right now I'm in the midst of organizing, which is getting all the devotees together for one day, talking about our vision, upcoming vision and results. We have our leadership Sangha once a year, where our national council and some other devotees work on vision, which is now Varnashram. We have our management council meeting every 2 weeks, and along with that there's duties. I'm part of the Varnashram council meeting, which is here nationally, and we have meetings every 2 weeks, about half a day, and there's duties along with that. I have temple council meetings in Budapest and the farm that I attend. There's our councillor meetings, so I meet with councils, I meet with the councillors, counselors sometimes. Then, of course, there's disciple meetings. I have that on Skype with Russian disciples, with Hungarian devotees. In UK, when I go there, I meet with leaders here in Hungary, and that's just ongoing. Radha Krishna, Pitripati, so many leaders, both in these centers and in the smaller centers. Then I meet with our donors, and we also have a donor council, and I meet with them. As I mentioned about Nitya Seva, now I'm involved very much in trying to organize that, working the overall layout of the concept, in other words, laying it out in presentation form, and the strategy itself. My emphasis is on fundraising, although I'm also involved in the investment side of the portfolio. And of course, we have to have regular meetings in trying to get this thing off the ground and make it as successful as Radhesham's 1-year altar renovation meeting was. And then I have 2 Euro RGB meetings a year. I do emails. I'm blessed. I only have about 30 or 40 emails a day. Others I know have 70, 100, 200. Psychologically, I have a problem. I have many problems, but one problem is that I can't have my inbox be full. That means I have to answer my email. It has to be empty. And so those come from GBCs, from friends, emergencies from devotees, here in Hungary, management, fundraising. Then, of course, there's always Skype and SMS and Viber and WhatsApp and telephones, and that's the communication that goes on. And on top of everything, I got this body. And what can I do? I'm working on a spiritual one, but in the meantime, I'm still here. And over the last 6-7 years, many of you have been in tune with it. I've got all different issues coming up. I've got neurological things, problems with my neck, problems with my back, and now a knee problem has come up. I've got prostate problems, I've got high blood pressure, cholesterol. For all this, I'm trying to diet. And with all of these other things going on, I'm also trying to manage anxiety. So that's why I asked the book distributors, you come to the morning program, you chant 16 rounds, and you go out and distribute books. Please take responsibility to increase book distribution. Please take responsibility to other devotees for your particular service, and be conscientious that this is Srila Prabhupada's mission. And since I'm now not talking to the Hungarian devotees, but I'm talking to devotees elsewhere, I'm sure I speak for other GBC members that wherever you are, it's Prabhupada's mission, it's Prabhupada's 50th. Make Srila Prabhupada's desires your desire. We sing that Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitite Kariya Aikya, and take responsibility and do the needful. Then Krishna consciousness will really spread all over the world. Hare Krishna. Now let me find this button. Where do I press this button? Here it is.